Welcome to another episode of Chappy Hour. We are back with a brand new guest who has never been on my show before, but I am so excited to have her. Welcome, Jill.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Jill is so cool. Jill is the epitome of cool. When I think of a cool girl, I think of you, Jill.
Oh my God, stop.
No, but seriously, she's a very multi-talented person. I met her way back when I was living in Medicine Hat when I was in
high school,
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we both ended up taking journalism in university, and she is an amazing photographer and she shoots sports and she's just a cool person. Jill, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, thank you. That was such a nice introduction. So like Chloe had said, we grew up in Med Hat together, moved up to Calgary where we are now, was here for a few years, got my degree in journalism, and then started shooting sports right out of the gate. I spent the last 2 years in Edmonton working for the Edmonton Elks of the CFL started off as their social media coordinator, and then eventually promoted to digital content coordinator. So I was traveling with the team, shooting photo on the field, controlling all of our social medias. So creating TikToks, everything from Facebook to Instagram, all of that fun stuff. Twitter, tweeting like during live games, or I guess X now. But yeah, just doing all that fun stuff and getting to travel, shoot sports. It's been really fun.
Yeah, and this summer she has some plans to shoot at Stampede.
Yes, very excited. Getting to shoot artists like Metro Boomin, Party Next Door, Tate McRae, Bailey Zimmerman, Riley Green, and hopefully more, doing some festival stuff, which I'm really excited about.
That is so cool.
I'm very excited.
Yes, so the drink that we are drinking on our episode today is not an alcoholic drink. We are starting today with coffee because it's actually the morning when we're recording this today. So Jill has an iced coffee and I just have a regular black coffee because I'm out of milk because I'm leaving for Greece today and I didn't want to buy any more
totally
milk
valid
to my coffee. So we are going to get started and
cheers!
Welcome to Chappy Hour. It's kind of like happy hour, but with me, Chloë Chapdelaine, where I catch up with a friend over drinks. It doesn't need to be 5 o'clock to join, so grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Cheers. We are going to get started with the I'll Take a Double section of this podcast, and that is where I introduce a life hack because we like to start off strong, and we each have a life hack here to introduce to you today. And my first life hack has to do with tanning. For me, if you spend time out in the sun and you're tanning and you hate bugs, which lots of people do, including sometimes myself when I'm tanning at least, if you take eucalyptus soap and you scrub it, like you take the soap and you scrub it onto your tanning chair so that it kind of just like coats the chair that you're sitting on, like if you have a tanning bed, apparently it'll keep away bugs like spiders and wasps and even mosquitoes, the eucalyptus scent. I've never tried this myself, but I'm going to need to try it this summer because it's finally starting to get warm enough to get out and tan.
Try it in Greece.
I should try it in Greece.
Literally.
I just got to find some eucalyptus soap.
And like bar of soap, or like does it matter?
I think that the person who I saw do this online, they use like a liquid soap and then they just kind of like foamed it up like in some water with a washcloth and they like wiped it onto their chair with a washcloth. But I think if you use like a bar of soap, you could also just like, I don't know, get it on your hands. Yeah. Kind of wipe it on.
I'm not going to lie. I hate tanning. I stay white all year round and I can only fake tan. I go out in the sun, I burn, I'm back white again in a week. It's just the most ridiculous thing. It's in my genes. My whole family is just super white and can't tan.
Oh, interesting.
No, and also though, like I just hate sitting in the heat.
Yeah.
I have to be like out like on the boat or in the lake or doing something. Like I just can't sit there and sweat.
You need to stay active?
Yes, I need to be doing something. I just need to be moving or like in the water or something. Like I just can't sit there for hours on end. Oh. And all my friends can. And I'm like, can we do something?
I can tan. I'm one of those people who can just lay in the sun. But I also get it. Like it's more fun when you're being active. Like you get tan naturally, but if you burn like you, like I don't burn really easily. Like I could spend so much time in the sun and I might come out looking a little bit red, but then as soon as I like get back into the like the cooler air, like my skin goes back to normal. Like it's not a burn, it's just I get like flushed.
I wish. No, I literally like I have to really try to tan. Like you know, like 5 minutes flip, 5 minutes, like it's just otherwise I am bright red and then white again. Yeah. It's just
that's interesting. Yeah, it takes a lot for me to burn, which is kind of nice for me, but like also I've been like more diligent about sunscreen and stuff just recently because I'm trying to avoid skin cancer and
totally
I actually have a skin cancer check booked for next month.
Really?
Yeah, where they're going to do like a full body check and they're going to look at like every freckle on my body. And I'm kind of nervous for it because there are a couple that I'm like,
questionable.
Yeah,
You're like, oh no.
Do I have skin cancer?
Oh yeah, see, and that's like what terrifies me too, is just like, yeah, all of that. Like there's just so much that could go wrong. So I'm just like, I got my hat on, I got my 1,000,000 SPF sunscreen, and I'm good to go.
If you're gonna tan outside, try the eucalyptus soap. But a way safer way to tan without having to fear skin cancer is fake tanning, and you have a hack related to that.
My favorite type of tanning. It takes a lot of extra time, and you really like. There's sometimes where I'm far too lazy to do it, and I'll literally just do my arms or like the top half of my back, whatever you're gonna see.
That's
honestly,
so smart. That's so
just because
smart.
I couldn't be bothered to do the whole body. But yes, I saw this hack. I've been following these twins, and I'm probably gonna butcher their name, but I think it's the Hondro twins. I believe they're from Australia, and they're adorable. They sing their little intro, and they're so cute. But they do like tanning hacks because they always get the best out of their self tan. Because there's been times where I put it on, it's patchy, it's ugly, it's gross.
Yeah,
I look ridiculous, but they use like plastic gloves instead of like the tanning applicator, like the mitt.
Yeah.
And they were showing the difference between using the gloves, because the gloves, the plastic gloves, like don't absorb any of the product. Whereas like when you're using the mitt, it takes off half the product. So they get such a darker, deeper tan. And I was like, I need to do that this summer.
That's so smart. I've actually tried it because I saw their TikTok. It definitely works.
Yeah?
Yeah, it does. Have you tried it?
No, I haven't yet, because I need to go get more tan, but also it's now just becoming summer, so I'm like, hey, now I can be tan.
100% it works. Okay, I will say I'm addicted to fake tan. Like I'm like not as bad as I used to be. Like there was a phase, like especially during COVID, where I was on the fake tan. Like I probably looked orange, but and I'm like,
happens. An event for everybody.
I'm not that bad now, but my take on it is it does take longer because you have to spend so long rubbing it in to try to avoid streaks because you have so much more product. So yeah, but if you want like a deep, deep tan, 100%. Okay, another tanning hack related to tanning. I don't know if you've used this, but if you take a makeup brush and you like...
on your hands.
Yeah, you use it on your hands or even like your jawline if you're like working it up your neck or something. Yeah. It just like creates this really natural, soft, feathery fade to your tan instead of like harsh lines, because sometimes fake tanning can create harsh lines.
Yeah, one of my best friends does that. Her name's Jordan. But yeah, I saw her doing it the one day. I was like, that's so smart, because I just take the mitt and like lightly dust. Like,
oh yeah, that's smart.
In between my fingers, like whatever. But I saw that and I was like, I'm never using the mitt again.
Yeah. Or have you ever tried fake tan to contour your face?
Okay, no, I haven't, because I'm like scared.
Okay, I have. It looks really, really good.
It does.
It doesn't stay as dark as when you put it on initially.
Okay.
I just use like a makeup brush and I put it like where sun would naturally hit my face. But I will say, if you break out easy,
that's what I'm concerned
100% break out. So I need to find a solution, because I tried it with like the tanning drops, but the drops are so concentrated that like it doesn't feather out as nice as like a tan that would go on your body. So I need to find a solution where that can work.
I know, because like it looks so good with the contour, but I've just used the drops on my face or the whatever that's okay for your face, because I am so concerned about like breaking out or whatever, because I've just heard it can be a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, it can be. But yeah, those are pretty good hacks. I love tanning. I don't know. I feel like a different person when I have a tan.
Oh my God, no. I feel skinnier.
Me too.
I feel hotter.
I feel healthier.
Yes.
I'm
just like, I'm glowing.
I'm a new girl.
Do you have a favorite brand though?
Oh, I've tried so many brands. The deepest tan I've ever tried is called Sosu Dripping Gold. Oh. And it's like, it's more expensive, but it's really worth it. Like, it makes you so dark. Yeah. But like, I'd say my go-to, well, it used to be just plain old Jergens, but sometimes I feel like it can make me a little bit on the warmer orangey side. Yeah,
for sure.
So Bondi Sands.
Yes.
Yeah. I like them because they smell like coconut.
A good old drugstore favorite. When I was living in Australia, there was a brand, and I can't remember. It was so cute. I can't remember what it was called. It was really, really good, but like being back in Canada, it's not worth really getting it all the way over here versus just driving to Shoppers and picking up Bondi.
Sure. I only buy mine from Shoppers.
Yeah, same. But yeah, no. Yeah, Bondi is a favorite.
But we're going to move into the daily specials section of this podcast. And this is where we talk about everything that is trending, what we're seeing, how we feel about it, whether we like it or not. And there's lots of trending topics that we can dive into. But the very first one I want to address is on my last episode, I just talked about the color jazz blue and how Aritzia just introduced this jazz blue color. And Jill showed up and she is wearing an entire jazz blue sweatsuit.
I love it. It is my favorite thing I own today.
You look so good in it.
Oh, thank you. I think it like for the dark hair girlies, like I have black hair, it just looks good.
Yeah, it does. It just like, I don't know, it makes you look glowy, and
I
it's
just love
a pretty
it.
color.
They will, because they've had like, you know, the gray and the white and the black for so long, and they have like so many good colors coming out, but the blue is just, I just love it.
It's
and
iconic.
It's like, I think their second time doing this color.
Yeah.
And it's just sold out so fast. Like I don't even have my exact size in it because I was like, I don't care. I want this.
I don't have the Aritzia version, but I was given this sweatsuit from this brand called Nexarina. And it's basically that exact color. And so I'm going to be wearing my Nexarina sweatsuit and
cute.
trying to fit in with all the blue girls. But I love it. I think that's super cool. Something else that is trending that I've heard so many people talking about is the artist Noah Kahan.
Yep.
Noah Kahan. He is how would you describe his genre of music? He's like
very alternative, folky.
Yeah, like it's not like indie, but it's it's like folky.
Yeah,
it's not country.
It's not country.
It's just
more
like
like the
singer-songwriter.
folky. Yeah,
like him and a guitar usually.
Totally, like almost how Ed Sheeran started out. You know, just him and his guitar on the stage. Like that's Noah Kahan.
Yeah.
It's not poppy. It's not.
Yeah, it's not pop, which I appreciate, and it's kind of reminds me a little bit of Lumineers or like Mumford and Sons almost.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, no, he's phenomenal. I don't know, like when I think of him, I think of like the mountains, like Patagonia. Like I don't know what it's good
mountain music. And so he got his start, I believe, like singing a little bit on TikTok, and then he kind of blew up and grew this like huge. I would say it's a community. It's not just like a following or a fan base.
No. Like it's crazy. Well, I didn't even realize I had heard Stick Season just like everybody else blow up on TikTok. And so I was like, oh, Noah Kahan, who's that? And I didn't realize he has a song from like quite some time ago that I used to listen to all the time, but I didn't put two and two together as to who it was. It's like one of his first songs. Oh, I don't know if I can find. Oh, it's called Hurt Somebody.
Oh, I don't know if I know it.
You might if I were to play it. But
do.
like I didn't put two and two together, and then I was like, oh my gosh, who is it? I was like, that's the same person.
The reason I've seen him trending so much is he just did a tour and he went through Canada. And it was nice because he went to some towns that I feel like lots of, I don't know, big artists don't hit when they go through Canada. Like he went to like Saskatoon. Yeah. He was in Calgary here.
Edmonton too.
Yeah, Edmonton. And so that was really cool because he hit lots of these like smaller towns. And he came out of it saying that Canada was like one of his favorite places. Like he's going to be back. He could not believe
it's because we're so nice. It's because we're so nice.
I think it's true. But I was supposed to go to him like in concert, and I was in Nepal. And so I couldn't go. And I was like devastated. So but one thing that I thought was really interesting that I've heard so many people who went to his concert say is a lot of the people who went to his concert, it was not their first concert. Like my dad, for example, has probably been to hundreds of concerts, but he said he couldn't believe the amount of people who knew every single word to Noah Kahan's music singing along.
It was my friend's like third time being to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah. Apparently it's just like the energy in the room was just like unmatched. And I think that has to do with like creating this community, because Noah Kahan online, his like persona is like this really down to earth, just like
super down to earth,
like homegrown guy who just like,
it's like you feel like you're on FaceTime with him when he's on, when he's making his TikToks.
He's like, just like so real.
He's a regular human. He's not better than anybody else. Like he's just he's personable.
So I thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah. I loved watching him go from city to city. My favorite thing is when artists go to each city and they wear the sports teams, like the jerseys.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So like when he was in Edmonton, I think he had a McDavid one on when he was here. I just love it when they dress up like that. I'm like, you've never watched a game in your life, but you're here for the city.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I didn't even realize that he did that.
Oh, it was so cute. He ended up at the Oilers practice and got a photo with like McDavid and Draisaitl and was like so excited. You could see his like little smile. But it's funny. I like when they combine the two.
So when he comes back, I'm gonna have to go to his concert.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm sad that I didn't make it to this one. But somebody who else is trending, who's not being perceived as positively online right now, is somebody who went to jail for murdering her mom, pretty much. Or
no good way to say that. Or an accomplice to murdering her mom.
Yeah, she wasn't the one who did it, but she played a role, and that's why she ended up in jail. And this is Gypsy Rose.
Yep.
Gypsy Rose is somebody who was a victim of Munchausen's by proxy disorder, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
And so what happened was her mom was medically abusing her, in the sense that her mom had told her whole life that she was sick and that she had all of these different disorders and that she couldn't eat certain things because of allergies. And
well, she was in a wheelchair and she didn't need to be in a wheelchair. Like she would get up and walk around the house behind closed doors and go out in public in a wheelchair, but she could walk. It was insane.
Yeah, so that's super crazy. And so then what ended up happening is Gypsy fell in love with this guy online, and they started a relationship, and they conspired to kill her mother, and in the end her mom did end up dying. I don't know the exact details, but
did you watch The Act?
No.
So it's obviously based on the story. And it was it on HBO? It was on something, but it was starring Joey King.
Yeah.
Played Gypsy Rose.
Yeah.
Did a phenomenal job, honestly. I thought she gets a lot of hate, but I thought she did such a good job. And it just took you through the whole story of they moved into this neighborhood that was, I can't remember who it was built by, but it was basically for people who need help or whatever. They build these homes for them and then they get to live in them.
Yeah.
And they got this home because Gypsy Rose was so sick and everything, and her mom couldn't afford the hospital bills that she didn't need to be going to the hospital for.
Oh no.
And yeah, moved into this neighborhood, and Gypsy Rose started to get older and she realized like, I'm actually kind of fine. But it's almost like Stockholm syndrome. Like, you know, it's her mom. She doesn't want to leave. She is freaking out. But then she started to like figure out things online, and people online, met this guy. And then they actually ended up going to a movie theater. She coerced her mom into going to watch this movie.
Okay.
And the guy that she met online was going to be waiting there to meet her and her mom. And her mom thought he was this freak and was like, get away from me and my daughter. You're so creepy. And like ran out of the theater. And it just like broke her heart. And yeah, so she ended up, they did this whole thing. You had to conspire to like murder her, and they ended up doing it and then ran away together. But they had no idea what they were doing. They had no idea how to pull this off. So like, you know, they kept their phones on, their laptops on. He literally made a message, and it is still on Facebook today on Gypsy Rose's account. It has not been deleted, that said something like the bitch is dead or something. And it is still on her page. I can't remember exactly what it is, but people were commenting on it. They were concerned. And then it was like, oh, Gypsy Rose is missing. And then like within less than 24 hours, they figured out what was going on because they just couldn't pull it off. It was crazy. The act is so good. Sorry, I just yapped about that.
I need to watch this.
So good.
I'm sure I'd find it fascinating. I love like documentary style videos or like things that are inspired by true stories. Like,
it's so good. I love that too. But yeah, they did a really good job. I was entertained the whole time.
So basically Gypsy Rose, now she went to prison and she has been released because I'm pretty sure she was a minor when she was admitted.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was still young when this whole situation happened. And so she got released from jail. And now she's still young-ish. Like, she's not like an old lady.
Yeah, like late 20s, late
20s, early 30s. I don't know exactly. I can Google it. Let me find out.
Yeah. 32.
32. So she's still young, I would say.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so she's got like a whole life ahead of her. And she's spent her entire adolescence, like basically in jail. And now she's been out, and she initially had a boyfriend right away. And there was all of this positive media around her to start with.
So much. They were married because they got married while she was in there.
It was while she was in there that they got.
I think so.
Because I know that the relationship for sure started while she was in.
Yeah, or he proposed right when she got out. But I think they were either engaged or I can't remember if they were fully married or not. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, so Gypsy Rose, like when she got released from jail, everybody was so in support of her. They're like, you shouldn't have gone to jail because you were a victim in this whole situation. Media tour. There's like a ton of stuff about this, and people were calling her mother online, all of this different stuff, which I think is kind of insensitive considering like she killed her
own mother
or played a role in that, at least allegedly. And so
no, it's insane. It does say she was divorced, so they were actually married, her and this new guy she met while she was in prison. But no, she went on this crazy media tour. Like, she was on like Good Morning America. She was on every podcast imaginable, and people were really building her up. But then like the same thing that always happens, they build her up and then she's torn back down again.
Yeah, like, I feel like it started really positive because so many people were in support of her, like just being released because they thought she shouldn't have been imprisoned in the first case because her mom was a really bad person. Yeah. But then there were behaviors that like, first of all, like came off as like kind of like cute or endearing or like innocent. Yeah. But then they're realizing like maybe that's not actually cute and maybe it's manipulative and maybe it's like.
Totally. I think everyone was kind of like, oh, you're almost like, haha, I got away with it.
Yeah. And she's kind of laughing about the fact. It seemed like in a way, which is not good. And now she's going through divorce and like all of this different stuff that was happening. And
I saw she has a new boyfriend
already.
Yep.
Whoa. Yeah. And I heard that maybe she was like gonna get some like work done or something like that. And like
who knows?
She was like bragging about like her, I don't know. My theory is like she doesn't know how to act in society because she was never properly introduced to society. You know, like she was always sheltered by her mom, and then she was in jail. Like she's never been properly integrated into society in a way where she knows the norms and how to act and how to be.
Well, her mom lied about her age. So when she was like 18, I think her mom said she was like 15, or her brain can't be developed into an actual 32-year-old. Like she's gotta like.
Well, if she was on medications and stuff too, that like stopped different, I don't know, processes. Like
I don't know, but yeah, that's crazy.
That's something that's trending online. If you want to deep dive, go search up Gypsy Rose, learn about her story because that's kind of a crazy topic. But Something else that's trending that's not at all related to Gypsy Rose, but is related to women, is women's sports. And you are the person to tell me about this.
I could talk about this all day long because the girls are finally getting their flowers. I played sports growing up, basketball, everything. I would have loved to continue playing, but I had some knee issues. 3 knee surgeries later, I can't play anymore. But I absolutely love watching, and I think that's what really got me into, you know, shooting sports, was I got to be around it again and around a team and on a team and everything. So I could talk about this all day. And the main girl, Caitlin Clark. Have you heard of Caitlin Clark?
I've heard the name, but I don't know a lot about her.
Okay, so she plays for the Iowa Hawkeyes. She has the past 4 years. And
which, to people who don't know, what sport is that?
Basketball, sorry. College basketball, March Madness just happened, the big tournament, everything like that. She is phenomenal. The last 2 years, she has led her team to the finals, to the final game, to the championship. Unfortunately, has lost both getting there. But this girl pulls up 30 feet from the net and shoots it, and it's in. She shoots from the logo. They actually, in Iowa, have a little sticker on the court of where she shoots from, and it's there now. They retired her jersey this season. She's 21, 22, and they've retired her jersey at Iowa. No one will ever wear 22 again. And she's just opened up like a whole new, everyone's calling her the Steph Curry of women's basketball, but she is unbelievable. And there's so many other girls as well, like Angel Reese from LSU. She's plays in the post. She's big. She gets rebounds. She and Caitlin, actually, they were in the finals last year together, and there was a lot of controversy around everything that was going on. A lot of stuff went down between them, but it was a good rivalry. Yeah. But you know how people always hype up men's rivalry but tear down women's rivalries? Mm-hmm. Like, they shouldn't be doing this in sports, they shouldn't be doing that. No, we're just doing what the guys are doing because we love it just as much. Like, you know, the shit talking, everything like that. It's just been really looked at differently. But anyways, regardless, these girls are killing it in sports today. Like, viewership, I think it said somewhere that like Iowa brought 20 some million dollars to the university that year, or the college or something. Like, wow. It's just blown up so much. I'm doing, like, there's so many things to talk about. I'm doing a really bad job at talking about it.
No, you're doing a good job.
But yeah, actually, it's funny enough that I said we should talk about this.
Yeah.
Today is the WNBA draft, I believe, and Caitlin Clark is going number 1 to Indiana. And she's just phenomenal. She's opened up so many gates for so many young girls. Like, the viewership for women's basketball was higher than men's basketball this year. They did like a whole thing of how many like people tuned in to one of the games this year, and it had more viewership than any men's basketball game ever.
Really?
On ESPN. I think it was ESPN or TSN or something. But like the amount of views it brought out, like Shaq literally was on a podcast and he was like, I don't give a shit about the men's tournament right now. I couldn't even tell you who's in it. The girls have everyone's attention.
And why do you think that this shift is happening?
It's the storylines, first of all. It's like I said, there was kind of drama in some of it. There's the storylines. It's that these girls can actually compete. Like I said, Caitlin Clark is pulling 30-foot jump shots from way outside. Like, unreal. And they're just their level of play. Like, I remember, you know, like women's basketball has always been like, you know, kind of slower, not as fun to watch. I literally felt like I was watching an NBA game watching these girls play.
Yeah.
And it's also just has a lot to do with the training they're getting, the development they're getting. Like, when I was playing, I feel like we didn't do as much of that. And also there wasn't just the ability to teach girls how to play properly and girls' bodies and that difference and everything.
Yeah.
And just like the technology too to help. It's crazy. But yeah, there's so many girls that have opened it up. But like Caitlin Clark, like NBA players are giving her flowers. NFL, like she's getting posted on everything, and it's absolutely insane. She's opened the door for so many people. Like, they did lose in the championship game. South Carolina won. Mm-hmm. And their coach, Dawn Staley is her name. She is a legend in women's basketball. And she literally said, like, as she was up on the podium, like collecting her trophy, like, thank you, Caitlin Clark. Like, we all wouldn't be here kind of without like you, and like you've given us this whole new platform. Like, millions of people are watching.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And like, sorry, one more thing, for example, to put in perspective. Caitlin Clark hasn't even been drafted yet. Drafts today, I believe, like I said. Yeah. The second game of the season for them is in Las Vegas with against the Aces. And they moved from their original arena to T-Mobile, where the NBA team plays, NHL, everything, the massive arena, because that's how many tickets they're going to sell.
Whoa.
They moved from their smaller arena to their bigger arena because Caitlin Clark will be there.
I love that.
Like, it's absolutely insane. And like you would never broadcast WNBA. they are almost broadcasting every game. They broadcasted
Yes.
one game last year. They're broadcasting almost every game this year.
That makes me so happy to hear.
It's so nice.
It's
It's so
time.
refreshing.
Yeah, it's time for this, I feel like.
Oh, completely. And there's just so many more people. Like there's like Cameron Brink, there's Juju Watkins, there's all these amazing girls who are just like 20 years old, but they're like stars now.
Yeah.
And they just, and brand deals, and they're making millions now because you can get deals now in
Yeah.
college. And it's just, I could talk about it all day. I love them.
And I've
It's
seen
so
some really
exciting.
interesting marketing campaigns lately that are basically proving the point that women athletes are just as good as male athletes, and it's just as interesting. And some of them are such smart campaigns. Like one of them,
Absolutely.
they took the name from the jersey that was at the top that would be covered up. Have you seen
Molson with PWHL. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cute. It was like we covered our name so hers could be seen. It's was something along those lines. So yeah, like obviously in hockey you have your name bar and it's up at the top and it's your last name, whatever. But with girls, they have such long hair, and then their ponytails, like with their helmet, like you have to wear a low pony and it covers your name. So Molson was like, we want to be able to see your name. So they switched and put their name at the top and the girls' names at the bottom so they could see them.
I get chills hearing that.
It's so amazing. And yeah, the PWHL has been insane also. They've been selling out arenas and girls have been loving it, and they actually get to finally play professional hockey, not just overseas. So that has been an amazing league too.
Or another thing I think I saw, I think it was for soccer, but I could be wrong on what sport it was, but they used AI to make all of the women who were playing look like men.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, and then at the very end, they revealed it was actually women playing, and it was like all of these amazing moves and everything, and it was super
Their
engaging
stats and everything.
Yeah, and everything like that. And it's like...
It's definitely like, I think also in today's time too, like another thing that has bumped it up is social media and everything, right? Like you see these girls' personalities. Like one of those girls on Iowa is so cute. She does get readies before every game. And you just like learn to know these people better and like these girls and everything. But yeah, it's women's sports. It's finally getting recognition it deserves.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it. But because I mean, all my life since shooting sports, I'm like, I want to work in the NFL. Like that's what I want to do. I want to work in the WNBA now. If girls like Caitlin Clark are coming up, like they are massive celebrities. They're with massive talent. I'm like, it's insane.
If you are a scouter for any of these teams or anything who's looking for a really amazing sports photographer, Jill is your person. You need to hire her. She's so passionate about it and she's so talented. She would be perfect. Just so you guys know, if you're listening.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, but there's also some drama about sports that's happening, and I think this is a good time to move to the On the Rocks section of our podcast, which is where we cover all of the drama and we talk about what we're seeing. And,
yes. Along with anything, if anything gets too big, there's always going to be drama around it. But with these young girls coming into the WNBA, so there's a lot of high profile talent. There's a girl who played for South Carolina who just won the championship. She is 6'7" out of Brazil, and she is phenomenal and she's everything. I love her. But a lot of these young girls are coming up, and a lot of the vets in the WNBA haven't been really supportive of it.
Oh no.
I mean,
why?
There's massive NBA players who, you know, are tweeting out and hyping these girls up, but I think the older generation is a little annoyed that this hasn't happened sooner, which completely fair enough. There's so much talent.
Yeah.
Like Sue Bird, Kelsey Plum, like Asia Wilson, like there are these phenomenal athletes. And I think a little bit has to do with jealousy. Like I would get it too if I was playing professional sport for this long, and you know, they like women's sports doesn't get paid very well either. And these girls are making millions of dollars on NIL deals, and they're coming up and they're getting the recognition they deserve. Like I get it. You would maybe be a little salty towards it. But for example, Caitlin Clark, how phenomenal she is. There were Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi were kind of hating on her, which seems crazy to me because your viewership is going up so much this year. You're going to be broadcasted everything. And they were kind of just shitting on her throughout the whole tournament. And I mean, they both played at UConn. So at one point it was Iowa versus UConn. It was like one of the most watched games. And they were just not giving her the recognition that they deserve. Like, you know, when you're coming up in a pro league, all you want is for like the people there to like recognize your talent, and you know, you want to learn from them. It's hard to want to learn from somebody when they're shitting on you.
Yeah.
But basically, Diana Taurasi was like, you're not going to be playing against, you know, you're playing against 18-year-olds, young girls in college and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But now you're going to come play against real women. Like, it's going to be a rude awakening, which is like, yeah, fair. Like, the men say that all the time too, whatever. It's going to be different, but she's still going to be out shooting all of you. Like, she's still going to be phenomenal in the league, but she's also knows her place. Like, that's the one thing. If Caitlin Clark was like a shit talker, whatever and
Yeah.
came in cocky. She's the most genuine human being.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like. And it's just like, so are some of these other girls. Like, it's just, I just think it's a bit of jealousy, but it's like, it's not fair.
Well, if anything, I hope it helps the narrative.
I mean, yeah, it'll spin the story for sure.
The story makes people want to tune in and watch the drama.
Absolutely. And I mean, they're gonna be on these girls too. And actually, it's funny because they're playing Team USA has all of these already veteran players, but then there are players like Caitlin Clark's coming on the team and everything, and they're just gonna work her. I know they are, but it'll be so fun to watch. And I think right now it is just about intimidation, and it's coming off a little rude, but like I think also, you know, once they get to all know each other and they're playing, and they're gonna be like, okay, yeah. Like we just want to scare you. It's been so fun to watch. It's honestly amazing. I have friends who watch the games with me, and now they're like, I love this. They've never watched basketball in their life, but I made them come over and watch, and they were like, oh my God. My one friend's like, I'm so nervous. Like, I don't know what to think. And I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
I just love it. The girls supporting the girls.
Okay, another topic where women might have not always been treated equally that's not related to sports that I want to talk about is women's teeth. So this might sound super weird, but I watched this video on a dentist. She's a female dentist, and she said that she started seeing throughout her career that women were coming in with more cavities than men. And she was trying to figure out, why are these women coming in with more cavities than men? Because a lot of the women would claim, I floss, I brush my teeth 2 to 3 times a day. I'm really like diligent about my oral hygiene. I'm doing everything I should be doing. I'm not eating lots of sweets. Why are my teeth getting cavities if I'm doing everything right? And some of the men that would be coming in, she's like, do you floss? And they're like, no. I'm like, do you brush? And they're like, yeah, most days. And she's like, how are these men having perfect teeth? What's going on? And so this woman started doing some of her own research. She's been in the field for quite a long time. She's a bit of an older dentist. And she actually was saying from her experience, when she went to dental school, she was one of the very first women at her university to be a female dentist. She was in that class of all men. She was the only woman. And so she said, at the time, it wasn't accessible for women to get education being a dentist, because traditionally that was a man's job. And so that's changed nowadays. Anybody can be a dentist. But she said, as she was looking into the studies that were done on teeth and toothpaste and what we need to be doing to keep our teeth healthy, she realized that a lot of these studies that had been done on how to preserve your oral hygiene were only done on men. And so she's like, why are women's teeth coming back to me with more cavities? And it's because she said, women's mouths have a different pH than men. So our saliva has a different pH level. And so it's easier if our mouth is more acidic or our saliva is more acidic to be wearing down our teeth. And we need to be balancing that with a different pH of toothpaste. But all of the toothpaste that everybody is mass consuming were created based on studies to do with men's mouths, and there wasn't just women taken into consideration.
Really? You know what? Honestly, that makes sense, because I feel like when I was little, I always had so many cavities.
Yeah.
So many. And my dentist would be like, oh, you have really deep grooves. And my brother would just walk in, walk out and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, that, you know what? That's what I'm blaming. That's 100% what I'm blaming it on from now.
And like anecdotally, I've heard that from so many women where they're like, I really take care of my teeth and I always have cavities. And then they're like, my boyfriend has no cavities, or my brother or my dad has no cavities. And it's just not fair.
Yeah.
But it's not fair, because
no.
Apparently now studies are coming out, maybe women should be using a different pH of toothpaste. So I don't know if we're going to see something in the future, or if studies are going to start shifting where they're now studying the pH of women's mouths. But I think it's amazing that this dentist, actually, let me find her name because I want to be able to shout her out. Her name was Dr. Ellie Phillips, and you can check her out on TikTok. She's who I learned this from, but I thought it was really fascinating that she was able to talk about this topic. And maybe there will be a shift in the future studying women's bodies a little bit more to do that. But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting topic for On the Rocks, because why have we not been studying everybody's mouths? And like, obviously there's answers to that has to do with, I don't know.
Well, that's like so many things. Like, I feel like, you know, back in the day, even like medical journals and stuff, it's all men a lot of the time, or they were practicing on men's bodies. Also, a lot of those medical journals too, it was like practicing on just Caucasian people, like just white people too.
Yes,
like there's
absolutely.
so many different things, and everybody's bodies are different, ethnicities, everything. It changes the game a little bit.
Definitely.
So I think it's like, yeah, it's not even just like a women thing, but all in general. Like I've seen a lot about that actually, which is interesting too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's funny that you said that. It made me think. The other day I was at a friend's house, and everyone was getting ready to go out or whatever, and we were talking about like skincare, and my one guy friend goes, I haven't washed my face in like a month, and I washed it yesterday, and he has like the most beautiful skin, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I don't have like a 7-step routine or anything, but like, I wash mine twice a day. And I'm like, how, like, it's just, why are they always getting off so easy?
That's same. Like, I swear I have like a 10-step skincare routine. Like, I try the skincare, and like, mind you, I haven't always had the best skin. I started getting acne when I was 8, and I've been on Accutane like several times. Ugh. But like Hamish, for example, he started using my skincare and things were going well for him, but then he started breaking out again. And so he's like, I'm just going to use water. And so he started using water. He's like, my skin has never been better.
It's just glowing.
I'm like, what? If I started using water, my skin would not be glowing.
No, it's insane. I do notice though, like drinking a lot of water. I'm currently drinking a lot of water right now. Like I'm drinking a gallon a day.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference though.
Definitely.
Like definitely just drinking water is a big thing, but I couldn't imagine just washing my face with water.
No.
I just don't like, do you guys have pores? Like, yeah. I don't know.
Oh man, but I have more drama. Okay. This has to do with Crocs. Okay, because I know that you love shoes. Jill is a sneakerhead.
Very much
but
so.
I don't feel like Crocs fit into the whole sneakerhead realm.
Okay, they don't, but I could also really rock a pair.
Okay, do you like Crocs?
So I used, like, you know how everybody had them when they were younger and loved them and everything. And then it was kind of like not cool to be into Crocs. And then they made like they came back again, like the Crocs
I feel like
Renaissance.
Post Malone did like a thing for them, and then all of a sudden it's like Crocs.
Yeah, but no, I have no issues with them now. I would rock a pair. I actually don't have a pair right now, but like they're just cozy summer shoe.
Yeah,
like,
they're good, just like easy. I think they're so ugly. I hate the look of them.
Questionable.
But I have a pair and they're comfy. And I've got like little Bob Ross, what are they called? Giblets?
Giblets? Something.
I don't know what they're called.
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyways, Crocs apparently is, they're allegedly facing a lawsuit right now because of this accusation that they have been wrongly advertising Crocs, and it's causing people to need to buy them more frequently, because Crocs, when you think of Crocs, what are some of the cool features about them? That you could wear them in the water, that they're like good outdoor shoes, all of this different stuff, right? Well, the alleged accusation is that Crocs are shrinking over time due to water exposure and sunlight, because they're like this foamy material, right? And apparently when they are exposed to water or sunlight, they shrink because it's the material, like they literally morph and change their shape. And so it's making it so people can't fit their Crocs that they're buying after wearing them for activities that you're supposed to wear them for, because Crocs is advertised that you can wear them as water shoes and stuff like that. But that is actually destroying your Crocs, making them shrink, and it's making you need to buy more pairs.
Like, how fast is that happening though? Because like it makes sense. Like if you leave a pair of shoes that are made of whatever that is, foam, out in the sun, like kind of no shit, you know, but it's just like everyone loves them. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like to me, it's kind of like you're just gonna keep buying them regardless.
That's
I don't know.
True.
Like,
I feel like they're not at a price point where it's like
ridiculous.
Like if you need to buy a new pair of Crocs because yours warped. So what? But apparently they're facing some drama.
That is crazy
right now. And
that's wild.
Apparently like they are seeing some issues legally because they have advertised their shoes as water shoes or as outdoor shoes, and that is actually what is causing them to warp and wreck.
They should probably figure that out if that is true. Like, I mean, fair enough, but also like it also makes sense for like the quality you're paying for, you know what I mean? I have one of my best friends, her cousin is Croc obsessed. Like I think she actually has like 55 pairs of Crocs and all different colors, like specialty ones and everything.
Really?
And it's the funniest thing to listen to how passionate she is about her Crocs.
Wow.
But yeah.
I have mixed feelings towards them. Like I have them. They're like my dog walking shoes when I have to like take the dog around the block. But I don't wear them to like look cute.
No, for an occasion.
I heard one guy say that if you can pull off Crocs, it means you're actually hot, because it's like
pretty like, privileged to wear Crocs.
Yeah, like, he's like, even if you're not conventionally attractive though, he's like, if you can pull them off and like you can wear them with confidence, it means like you are so self-assured that it's like that's an attractive personality trait
for sure,
to like be confident wearing Crocs in public. Like, it's like that's true. It's like a symbol, like I love myself enough that I know I can wear Crocs in public. Crocs
anywhere.
You know?
No, totally. Yeah, so funny. I just love that they're like back. A lot of girls at the gym have them. Actually, I've seen a lot of girls
for like lifting and stuff.
Well, not like actually like at the gym, but like I mean like coming and going. Like it's smart. A comfy kind of shoe after your lift or anything like that. But yeah, a lot of girls wear Crocs to the gym.
Do you have any drama?
Rap game drama. I just laugh because it's so funny, and I'm probably gonna mess up some of what it's about. But there's just drama in the rap world with Drake's against, well, how he says in his new leaked song, 20 versus 1. But basically, Metro Boomin and Future put out an album a while ago, actually just dropped a brand new one like within weeks of each other. And on their one song, Like That, I think it's called, they have Kendrick Lamar on it. And he just shits on Drake.
Oh, no.
Drake and J. Cole and everything. And it's
really?
it's just so funny because like at one point all these rappers are intertwined and they've all worked together and everything, but just something happens that goes sideways and then they all start fighting and yelling at each other in songs and stuff.
Gosh.
But yeah, it's been pretty funny to watch. So basically, yeah, I came out with that went viral and everyone was kind of waiting for Drake's response. He still hasn't responded. Then they dropped more and more people have hopped into it. Rick Ross has hopped into it. Like it's just been crazy to watch all these people shit talk Drake and then Drake's just sitting there like, all right, I'm gonna cook something up here and you guys just wait.
Okay, sometimes I wonder, this might be just me like conspiracy theorying too much, but like, do you think it's real? Or do you think that it's like stage drama,
like a
PR, like it's a PR stunt to get people to listen to their music, because then everybody's waiting on Drake, and then Drake is probably going to release something and everybody's going to listen to him. Like, do you think it's planned? Do you think there are like publicists and stuff, people who are sitting in the back row, like writing out this script of like how they can orchestrate this perfect drama? Or do you think it's legit?
I believe that there's probably some times where that's happened for sure.
Yeah.
But the more you like listen to things and kind of hear what's going on and stuff, like there's definitely, I mean, it's Hollywood. There's sneaky shit behind everything. Yeah. So I think there's some things where that happens. Yeah. Some situations, but there's sometimes where I think it is like legit. Like when Drake had his kid and no one knew he had a kid. And then what's his name outed him in his song. Yeah. And everyone was like, oh, was it Pusha T? Yeah, I can't remember. But anyways, outed him and having a kid and hiding his kid from the world, and he had to actually fess up and was like,
okay, yeah, I don't think that was planned.
No, that wasn't planned. He just got completely out of it. But like,
there's
some things like, you know, to help album sales, to help that, like, it is interesting to see. But yeah, no, I think this is like somebody actually made a really shitty design, but did do it, graphic of like the Civil War from Marvel, like Iron Man against Captain America, did like Drake and all his homies on his side, and then like Future and Metro and all of like them, and everyone's just beefing, and it's hilarious. But I don't know, I mean, Drake's finished his like second part of his tour and everything and all that, and it's good media attention for everybody, and a rap beef is always fun. Like athletes are weighing in on it, and it's it's hilarious to see. But I don't know, it's kind of fun drama to listen to, and I mean, if that means we get new music out of like these artists, then I'm fine with that.
That's so true. But we're gonna move into the shaken not stirred section of this podcast, and that is where we talk about one thing that shook us up this week or recently. So like something that just it just like has you like, you can't stop thinking about it, you know? And so I have something personally, mine's kind of like a fact that I learned that I had absolutely no idea about. So there's this like theory in the States that there's going to be this like huge, you know, the bugs, cicadas, they're kind of like grasshoppers, but they're not. They're like these like flying loud bugs that apparently there's going to be this like cicada storm where there's like tons of cicadas that are birthed or hatched, or you know, they come to life, and then they're going to go and eat all of these crops, and it's happened in the past, and there's like all of these biblical references and everything. But apparently cicadas, something I learned about them that I had absolutely no idea about is that they can urinate at such a high velocity that it like shoots a stream out of them, but it's like so intense that if you were to like walk through a cicada storm, that you're like feeling like you're being rained on.
No, that's horrible.
Disturbing.
That is, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
I'm
like,
sorry to bring this fact to you, but like it just shook me up so intensely. I was like disturbed by it that I felt like I needed to share.
No, I'm really happy that you shared, because I will now be watching out for that.
So that's mine.
That's mine.
What is something that shook you up recently?
Okay, so I've been like everybody else on TikTok constantly. I'm just scrolling. I found this account, and I've seen it for a while, but it's called, I believe, Soft White Underbelly is the name. And I can't remember this guy named Mark. Okay, so his name is Mark Lieda, and he started Soft White Underbelly, which basically he bought a studio somewhere on like Skid Row, allegedly, in LA, somewhere where there's a lot of homeless population, a lot of just kind of like just a sad area, a dangerous area as well, actually. And he bought a studio there, and he interviews people off the streets, homeless people, a lot of pimps actually as well, and like gang related, everything like that. Like it's really interesting to see these people's lives, and some of these people, like he's interviewing them, and they are sadly like really, really high on drugs, or like really like cracked out, like no idea what's going on around them. But it's really interesting to see, and I think the point of it was to start helping these people. but then it almost turned into like exploiting them.
Yeah.
And it's actually really sad to see. Like some of these people, like they've gone from being like been using drugs while they're on it, or they're on drugs, to kind of sober, but like, you know, you abuse drugs for so long, like even your sober brain is still not where it should be. But anyways, and it's kind of turned into like almost like exploitation a little bit. Like one girl, I think allegedly he had tried to get her help. That was kind of like the point of it. Like he takes her on, he gives them food, he'll like buy them Ubers to come here, everything like that. Tried to get her into like rehab, and she died. And a lot of people were blaming him for it, like the exploitation, this and that, like everything. And I'm gonna look up exactly what had happened, because I don't want to like miss.
I've heard of this story.
The girl's name was Amanda Rabb, and it's been quite a huge story recently. It's like virtual reality hell is the name of her story. I guess it's gone kind of viral on YouTube, but so many just like disturbing, shady, unethical things have happened. Like they were like trying to like team up with her, and it was just not great. And she ended up passing away from it, and everyone was like, would she have been better off just where she was? Like she
without
passed
all of the media and
without everything on her. And I think it was too much for her. But it honestly disturbed me. I was like, that's just like,
it is
people
disturbing.
will do anything for a view, anything
it's
for
so
whatever.
Sad. And like you and I, we both come from journalism backgrounds. Like we both have a journalism degree, and so I feel like you and I, like, we're really well versed on this topic and the ethics of storytelling and stuff. And there is a point where it's like, you need to realize, why am I telling this story? Yeah. You know, like, are your intentions actually to get this person help? And if they are, is exploiting them on the internet the best way to do that?
No.
Likely not. And I actually don't like watching a lot of those videos. I can see in ways how they might bring attention to certain societal issues, how they do have the ability to bring together the masses, like the public, to help these people. But I feel like there are resources put in place for certain things. Yeah. It's like you should be utilizing those other resources instead of just immediately exposing them when they're at their lowest point of their life. Like, I'm pretty sure this Amanda Rabb, there were interviews where she wasn't even fully dressed. Like, no, she not was, at all. Like in the middle of being high, which
like
is
a psychotic break too,
or like a psychotic break, where it's devastating to be showing that person at that state when you likely do have the resources as a journalist. I don't even know if we could call this guy a journalist.
Yeah, I don't really know what his credentials are.
There are ways to tell this person's story without showcasing the worst part of that person, that like that's the lowest of their low.
Totally.
And like, will it make the lows even worse moving forward? And so yeah, it is something that's very disturbing. And I see that so much, like so many people who will, I don't know, just expose, like not even just this person, but there are so many channels where it's like, I went and helped this person, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like dehumanizing the person in a sense. Completely. You know, like trying to just create a sob story.
Well, and like I think one of the things with like the soft white underbelly stuff is like, depending how much money his video makes, like he gives a part of that to the people, but it's like not even like, I think he said he made $1,000 off the one video and then gave the guy like $400.
In my opinion, ethically, like you should be giving that person all of the proceeds.
Oh, all of the money. Like he doesn't need it. I mean, like I guess like you have to take maybe somewhat of a profit in terms of like keeping the studio alive and everything like that and whatever,
stuff like that,
but it is just like, just the way he talks to him, it's like a little belittling, and it's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Like, yeah,
sometimes I feel like it's infantilizing the people. It's not good, but there's so much we could say about it. And
yeah, there's just so much. Just honestly, all in all, it's such a sad story, and it's just brutal.
But we're going to move to something that's a little bit more positive as our last note of the podcast. And we're going to move into the bottoms up section of the podcast, which is where we talk about what we're obsessed with. And this is going to be the good stuff and not the stuff that has us shook in a bad way. And so what is something that you have been obsessed with lately?
I hate to make it my whole personality trait, but right now it kind of is. So I am currently doing the 75 hard. Yeah. I've completed it once.
You have?
Yes, I completed it. It was like the best thing, mentally the best thing that probably I've ever done. I was just like not happy with a lot of like, you know, just stuff going on in my life, everything like that. Like I said, I had previously played sports. I lost sports. I went to university, partied like everybody does. Yeah. Learned some very unhealthy habits. You know, they call it the like freshman 15. It was like freshman 40. Like I was like, I looked back and I was like, okay. So I started getting into the gym. My friend actually really got me into it. She's a big into fitness as well. Actually, her name's Kate Craig.
Yeah.
Please check her out. She's really phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, I
unbelievable.
follow her. I don't know her personally, but she's so cool.
Yeah, she got me into it. She was a trainer for a little bit, and she's just blown up. She's insane, and she's so mental health wise involved in everything, and like a healthy way to just feel better and be better and wellness and everything. So she got me into everything, and then. Yeah, that was great, but I was like, I need to ramp this up. So the first time I did it, it was amazing. It taught me so many good habits, but I have to like preface too, like I saw this tweet where it was like, you either have to have no life or no job to be able to do this because it is ridiculous. It's 2 45-minute workouts a day. Yeah, that's one inside, lot. One outside. I go to the gym, I do my thing, and then I go for a walk later. And like walking is so good for you. Yeah. So it's drinking a gallon of water a day. You read 10 pages of a book, but like it has to be like you have to be learning something. Like you can't read a romance novel or anything. Okay. Unfortunately. Yeah. So that, and then some type of diet, but I don't really like to say like I'm going on a diet. I've just cut out sugar. Like I'll have stuff with like no sugar added or natural sugars, but like you know, I'm not going to sit and eat a piece of like cake or something while I'm doing this. Like I also have tried not to be like too restrictive. Like I'm just eating really healthy, like 3 big protein meals a day, protein snacks. I don't want to like cut anything out because then as soon as I'm done, if I eat it, I'm gonna feel like shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like not restrictive, but just like healthier habits. So it's been really good. I think I'm on day 28 or something like that. Nice. But I'm also just have the time to do it. That's because awesome. Honestly, like people try it, and like I tried to do it a second time. So this is kind of like my third time doing it because I tried to do it a second time and I failed miserably. I had a full-time job at the time and it was just like, you're so exhausted. It's too much. It's a lot on the body too. Like after like 3 weeks, you're like,
yeah, don't you need like a rest day?
And like, you just don't get one. Like it is pretty crazy. It is like full tilt, but by the end of it, it's just worth it. Like I wanted to do it. I finished on like May 31st, like summer's coming. Just wanted to feel good again and also get in the headspace again. That's good. And yeah, I love it. I also just like love the gym and all the cute little girly outfits I can wear, gym outfits, and you know, learning more stuff like supplement health and everything like that too. And it's been really fun. I love it.
That's fun. I think I could do like a 75 soft.
Totally.
But maybe not a 75 hard.
That's what I recommend. Yeah. Totally. That's what I recommend because it's just like 75 hard is tough. And I feel like a lot of people feel like, you know, like I need to eat rice and chicken.
I wouldn't want it to like get to a point where it's like my thinking is disordered, you know?
Totally.
So that's like, that would be my fear.
Yeah. And that's like why the biggest thing for me is it's like in terms of like the food, it's not like I'm not being restrictive with that because that can really mess you up obviously and whatnot. And like, yeah, you have to be in a headspace to be able to want to do it. And it is a commitment. Like I said, I just have like the time and everything right now, but it is really great. And if you start off, like, I wouldn't say go into it if you don't go to the gym or you don't lead a more active lifestyle, because then I think it's too much off the bat. Okay, for sure. Like I was just really lucky that I just kind of like fell in love with the gym and working out, and like, you know, like it wasn't even like the progress of like it's like before I was like I want to be skinny, and now I'm like I want to be strong. Like I want and like once you start seeing that progress, it's addicting
too. Like
totally. Like I used to be like
I want to be healthy versus I want to look a certain way.
Exactly.
You know?
Like I remember going to like, oh, I want to be skinny, and I was like I want the juiciest back ever. Like I want like my calves. Like I was like these little things. I'm like I'm such a gym bro. When I'm at the gym, I look in the mirror and I'm like shredded. Yes. Like that's it's awesome. Such a different tilt.
Yeah, for me, kind of along that vein, something I'm obsessed with, and I won't dive in too deep because we're short on time, but it's gut health, which is like something that I feel like kind of relates. My gut health is something that I focused on over the last year, and it has changed my life. Like legitimately changed my life for the better. Like obviously I'm gluten-free because I have celiac disease, but I started cutting out certain things that I realized were doing me more harm than good. And I started incorporating really healthy things like prebiotics, probiotics, natural ones like kimchi and yogurt and kefir, and like all these different things that are like just like foods that you can incorporate into your lifestyle that are good for your gut health. And it has made me feel a million times better. L-glutamine supplements.
I've heard L-glutamine's amazing.
Yeah, tons of different stuff like that. But I'm gonna have to do like a whole deep dive on gut health on a future episode. But that is something that I'm obsessed with right now. I feel like it's made a really positive change in my life. Bone broth is one of the things. Starting the day with bone broth instead of coffee, which today I did not do, but maybe in the future I'll change it. Today's an exception. But yeah, that's basically it. But we are short on time, so I'm going to wrap up this podcast. First of all, I want to say, Jill, thank you for coming on today. You're the best. I'm going to have you on another episode in the future if you ever want
to. This is so fun. It's my podcast debut. I love it. Thank you for having me. It was so sweet when I saw that you were starting to do this. I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. And I was like, and then you're like, do you want to do it? And I was like, oh my God, you want to talk to me? Sure.
Yeah, I love that you can offer lots of unique perspectives because I don't know anything about sports or anything like that. And you educate me on that. So,
I just love them.
Yeah, it's awesome. But to everybody listening right now, I just want to say Thank you to every single person who's listened. I'm so appreciative for every person who's taken the time to listen all the way up to this point. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give it a 5-star review on whatever listening platform you're listening to. I'm almost at 35 5-star reviews, so maybe you can be my 35th one if you're listening right now. Anyways, to everybody listening, have a great day, and until next time, cheers!